was Happy Power Monday all up in your area. I know that technically on the East Coast and other places that are farther ahead in time, it's already Tuesday, but we still are on Monday's type of schedule when we start this show. So happy Power Monday, beginning of the week. And I hope everything is going good for y'all. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should. I know that I'm feeling like a real man should, and everything is going to be all right. You think it ain't? I said everything will be all right. Yes, it will. So on this 13th of April is Monday the 13th. What we want to do, I said what we want to do is we want to talk about, I got to make more money than my baby. I got to make more money than my baby. What do you know about, well, listen, let's just keep it a buck. You know, a lot of men have to or feel like they have to make more money than their women. You know, like they can't have it. How you going to call yourself? Wait a minute. I had all of this time to take care of this. Hold on. Hold on. Matter of fact, hold on. You know what I mean? We can't be doing it like this. I'm going to have to get my shit together. You know, I was taking a nap before the show. I should have been taking care of the background. That's what I should have been doing, but it's okay because it's better late than never. It's better late than never, so we good. Yeah, a lot of men feel like they have to make more money than their wives or their girlfriends or their fiancés or any woman that they're dealing with. But we really have to ask ourselves, what's the purpose of that? Is it a competition? Is it a quest for power? Is money the determining factor of power and influence in your relationship? And if it is, think about what you really have. Think about what you really have going on if money is the determining factor of who has power and influence in your relationship. That's probably not a good look. At least that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's probably not the best situation to be in. But who am I to say? If it works for you, and it has worked for a bunch of men over centuries, probably. Now, I know that we have traditionally been led to believe that, yeah, a man is supposed to make more money than his woman. But I think that was probably at a time when it was easier to make a living for you and your whole family, and women could stay home and just have the children and take care of them until they were ready to go to school or whatever. I think we probably have to look a little deeper into it to find out exactly if we all followed that blueprint of how the nuclear family was set up. I'm not sure. So we may have to take a little look into that. But I know as far as the United States is concerned, where I'm speaking from, going back to when my parents were born, and we're talking about the 30s, 40s. That was pretty much the model for people who were able to establish that. I know for a fact that my grandparents had a lot of children on both sides of the family, like on my dad's side and my mom's side. On my mom's side, they had a big family, a big nuclear family. My dad's side was, they had a lot of kids, but they were kind of broken up. Like there's a lot to it. But anyway, but I know for a fact that my grandmother had to work. She may not have had to be the breadwinner for the family, but she did have to work. My granddad was a blue collar, like carpenter, electrician, or whatever. He was a home builder and things like that. So many times he had to go to another state to get a job to make money, and then he would come back home or take the family or some of the family with him. Like, I know my mom grew up in Arkansas, but for a little while, when she was a little girl, she spent some time in California. And she remembers well enough that she liked California better than she liked Arkansas. And she was very disappointed when she had to come back and finish being raised in Arkansas. So, anyway, so I don't know if my grandparents employed the whole I gotta make more money than my woman or whatever. Because with the amount of kids that they had, I don't see how grandmama could have been working all the time because they had kids back to back. They was kind of stair stepping it, not like 1 year after another, but close. 2 to 3 years. After it wasn't that far off. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't that far off. So yeah, I gotta make more money than my baby. Now, what would you rather do? Would you rather bust your ass to make more money than your woman? I'm talking to the men right now. Would you rather bust your ass to make more money than your woman because you feel like that's the only way that you can be respected in your relationship, or would you rather bust your ass to make more money than your friends? So, basically you be the big man on campus, or, Big Willie, that you the money man. Either way, you're going to be financially superior than somebody else that you're close to. But at some point, I'm thinking that you probably have to make a decision about where your motivation for financial success is really going to come from. Asking myself the same question, I don't know. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm in competition with my woman. Like, for what? That's not my example of teamwork, especially when I'm thinking that if I win, we're going to win. And hopefully if she wins, we're going to win. That's where the whole issue of respect might come into the situation or the equation and make things a little bit difficult, because if you are in a situation where your woman doesn't respect you because you don't make enough money, or because she makes more money than you, I can see where this could get really, really sticky. I can see where this could get really, really difficult. Let me see. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Just want to make sure that y'all hear me out here. I'm seeing crazy things going on with the numbers, so I just want to make sure that we all right. I just wanted to make sure that we all right. All right. We good. We good. Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. So that's what we're talking about today on the Daily Go Getterism Show. It's the daily. It's the Daily Go Getterism Show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is going to be all right. We talking about I got to make more money than my baby tonight. I got to make more money than my baby. Now, and I'm thinking maybe I should have asked that as far as the poll question is concerned. How many men out there feel like they have to make more money than the woman that they are with in order to be respected? In order to be respected as the man of your house, the king of your castle, and just basically the head of your household. Can you respect a man as being the head of the household if he is not bringing in the chief income? That probably would have a lot to do with what you call the head of the household. Like, if the head of the household is strictly based on who makes the most money, then I could see how you could be in an open competition with your woman in order to be the head of the household. In religion, you're probably going to have to submit to the fact that the man is the head of the household, regardless of how much money he makes. But also in certain religions, that man has to go out and make more money than his woman. Even if he has to stop her from making more money than him at some point. Now that sounds kind of ridiculous. That sounds kind of it sounds kind of ridiculous if you think about the liberal attitudes of today. But hey, what you don't eat don't make me shit, and what you eat don't make me. Hey, so we might have to, you know, take into consideration that line of thinking. We might have to take into consideration that line of thinking. So that's what we're talking about today on the Daily Go Getterism Show. I gotta make more money than my baby, man. I can't have my chick running around here making more money than me. I'm out here looking crazy. But then again, you would have to ask yourself, is it the way you start or is it the way you finish that matters? Or do you have to make more than her through and through? Here's the other part of the equation. Hold on. I just saw something over here that just didn't look right. You ever see something out of the corner of your eye? You know what I mean? You ever see something out of the corner of your eye that you have to address in real time? Here's the other thing. Ladies, there might be women out here that feel like, you know what I mean, okay, it's cool for a man to make more money than a woman, but what if he does it? What if a woman makes more money than a man? What if she's in a profession that pays her more than most people out here on the streets get paid? Let's say your woman is like a Beyonce, and she's a Beyonce that couldn't find a Jay-Z. She's more like a Rihanna. She's more like a Rihanna, and she got her ASAP Rocky. I mean, hey, they're not married, but they have a couple of children together, right? He has some millions, but she's a billionaire. So as a woman, would you be able to deal with a situation where you make more money than your man? And that's just how it's going to be. Like, you might not be in a situation where it's possible for your man to make as much money as you do. Would that make it hard for you to find love if you had been brought up in traditional values that told you that your man has to make more money than you? A Rihanna and an ASAP Rocky. A Whitney Houston, when she was alive, it's not easy to find dudes who made more money than you. Martha Stewart. It's not easy to find a man that makes more money than you. Madonna. Not easy to find a man that makes more money than you. And these are just women in the entertainment industry. What about women that were behind the scenes? Let's say like a Pebbles from, even though Pebbles was a singer, she got most of her money from running the label of LaFace Records. She was the one making a lot of money. What if she couldn't find an L.A. Reid? What if she didn't have an L.A. Reid to be her husband? What would be the challenges that somebody like Pebbles would face? Would they be able to find someone to love, someone to be with, someone to be there for them? You know, like would love be really impossible for you, or super challenging for you, or elusive to you because of your financial situation? Could you love a man that doesn't make as much money as you do? Could you love a man that doesn't make as much money as you do, or not even nearly as much money as you do? Many times when we're talking about a situation like that, our moral values come into play. Hold on. This is something. Hold on. Okay, we good. We good. Yeah. Our moral values is going to come into play. We're going to have to deal with the way that we were brought up, the way that we were taught that families are formed, the way that we really think that it's supposed to be at the crib. Could you imagine your relationship falling apart because although there is enough money in the family, it's not being made the way that you need it to be made? Like this family ain't going right. I only make 5 figures and she makes 6 figures, even though the 5 figures that I make may be $90,000, but she makes 110. And we can't be together under these circumstances. I got to do some more overtime. I got to go out here and bust my ass, even though it'll take me away from the family. Like we're not financially stable enough in this family, even though we don't have any children, or even though we only have 1 or 2 children that we make more than enough to be able to take care of and pay our bills and have plenty of money left over to save and shop and run the household. But we can't get comfortable in our situation because I'm a man and I don't make enough. I don't make more money than my woman. And, and this just ain't right. And I just can't deal with this situation, man. Why she got me? I look. I need to knock her up and stop her from making a couple of dollars. I gotta get that. I gotta get this right. I gotta hold her down. And that sounds ridiculous. That might sound ridiculous to some people, but it might be a reality for other people. That may actually be a reality for some people. Like I need to keep her barefoot and pregnant or whatever because she is outshining me. Like I can't face my family. I can't face her family. How is it that I took her away from her family and gave her my last name and she making more money than me? I almost feel like I should be taking on her last name. Instead of my last name being McIntyre, I might have to change my last name to Stevens. What we doing out here? Gotta make more money than my baby. I gotta make more money than my baby. That's what we're talking about today on the Daily Go Getimism show. So hold on to your seat. You know what I mean? Strap yourself in. Let's go ahead and have this conversation. I got my chair right over there. I said I got my chair right over. I got my chair right over there, so I'm gonna go and get it. Please do me a favor, man. Hit that like button. Let's have this conversation tonight. Let's have this conversation tonight. I gotta make more money than my baby. I gotta make more money than my baby. So what's up, y'all? Happy Power Monday. All up in your area. Power, 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 power. Let's increase our hours. Let's increase our power. Gotta make more money than my baby. Have y'all ever been in a situation where you have lived this life where you have had or felt like you had to have more money, you had to make more money than your woman? Brothers, I know that some of y'all can relate to this shit. I know some of y'all can relate to it. I've had a lot of conversations with men. And even the ones who don't say it, even the ones who don't say that, they feel like they need to make more money than their women, their wives, spouses, whatever. It doesn't mean that they don't feel it. So sometimes when you see men out here busting their ass to, doing more overtime, starting businesses, barely spending a lot of time with their family because they're really trying to get this money for their family. Sometimes it's not just for the sake of building financial or generational wealth for their family. Sometimes it hinges a lot on determining who holds the cards or who has the power in a relationship. Can a man still be the head of a household respectfully if his woman or his wife makes more money than him? Is he worthy of respect even though Is he worthy of respect even though he might not be the biggest breadwinner? I mean, he has a contribution, but he ain't, you know, he's not the dominant financial breadwinner. That's all. It ain't that he ain't bringing no money in. It ain't that he don't pay for nothing. But he just might not have the lion's share. Um, mm, Power Rangers, money tight lower back issues, paid thousands in Cheeros, and nothing has worked. I don't know, man. I ain't got no, I don't have no answers for that. I got nothing but questions for that. Carla. Carla. What's going on, man? How you feeling? How you feeling? Um, I don't know. We got people in here asking weird questions. Have you had plastic surgery? For what? What would be the purpose for that? I know that, sometimes y'all are up late night and y'all don't know what the fuck to say. So y'all just ask a question out of the blue on some crazy shit. But yeah, on some real shit. Yo, please hit the like button. We only got 2 likes. Come on. I know we can do better than that. I know we can do better than that, especially if we got 9 votes on the poll. We got 9 poll votes, but only 2 likes. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers are stingy. Stingy. Got to make more money than my baby. Got to make more money than my baby. A lot of women who are professionals, who make really decent money. I've had to deal with this situation. You know what I'm saying? It ain't as easy out here, to make 6 figures or more. It's not easy for everybody. It may be easier for some than it is for others. But don't get it twisted. There are more people who make under 6 than those who make over it. And six figures doesn't make you rich anymore. Making 7 figures hardly makes you rich anymore. Like $1 million doesn't necessarily make you rich anymore. That's how far we've gone as far as inflation is concerned and, financial stability. A lot of things have changed with, the length that $1 million will go or however much money you have. It's not as easy to make it with that, even with that amount as it used to be. And I mean, as we get older, as time goes on, of course, things are going to cost more. The cost of living is going to go up or whatever, But even without making $1 million or having a situation where $1 million is a factor. Let's see. He says, "Hi, simp. Hey, cocksucker. If I'm a simp, then you a cocksucker, nigga." That has to be the case. I got about as much simp in you as I would drop nut in your mama. So if it's all right for me to drop nut in your mama, I hope she clean. Oh my gosh. I don't want to be like, oh, I should have used a condom. Oh, this is a bad situation. Gotta keep getting tested. But anyway, David says financial instability is the number one cause of failing relationship. Is it? Now, I've seen numbers like that before. Financial instability is one thing, but the imbalance of financial income as far as gender is concerned, I'd like to see the numbers on that. Like, are we looking at a situation where even though the household income is up to par. Like you can pay the mortgage or the rent, all the utilities, car notes, everything else. All of those things can get paid, but because the man isn't the one that is in position to pay all of those things, the relationship is suffering that way. I mean, when you really get down to it, could you really respect a man that couldn't respect himself because he didn't make more money than his woman? Or is that where we are? Because if that's where we are, if that's where we are as a society, that's where we are. You not respecting yourself is one thing. You have goals and ambitions that you want to reach eventually is one thing. But feeling like nobody else, including your children, can respect you because you don't make more than your wife or your baby moms or your woman, that's a whole different situation. But is that where we are? Because if that's where we are, that's where we are. I guess I have to deal with it the same way that anybody else in that situation would have to deal with it. Is it a situation where a man cannot be happy in a relationship and would actually possibly sabotage a relationship because he could not make more money than his woman? Is that where we are? Is that where we are and what we are? Because if it is, then that's what it is. Now we have to start looking at exactly why. Is it because his woman is tearing him down emotionally? Is she emasculating him? Is making less money than your woman emasculation without doing anything in particular? Is the mere fact that a woman makes more money than the man she's in a relationship with or married to, is that instant emasculation? David says modern day equals man's money is family's money, is family money. Is that modern day or is that traditional? Because that sounds like what we've heard before. That sounds a lot like what we had before. Now, here's what we have to take into consideration. Back when my parents were born, like after World War II, there were a lot of things that the government did in order for families to be able to take advantage of certain programs where they could own a home or whatever. So even though a man didn't make a whole lot of money, he could still move out in the burbs and make decent money. Now, the thing is, there was an imbalance, a cultural imbalance when it came to those kind of things, because to make a long story short, white men had those programs put in place for them and their families, and black men and their families didn't have those things to be able to take care of. I mean, take advantage of. A lot of redlining in the districts and stuff like that. So there was even a straight up governmental push to help white families out while simultaneously keeping black families down. I'm not here to talk about any racial inequalities, but we have to take certain things into consideration. We have to, especially if it affects the overall health of the family, whether we're talking about the overall mental, emotional, financial, and physical health of the family. There's something that we have to look at. We got to take a real close look at all of that. Excuse me. When my allergies to start acting up, got a little itchy ear over here. We're going to be all right, though. So can a man be happy? Can a man be happy or comfortable or content in a relationship where his woman makes more money than him. And how long does that have to be the case? So does she, are we measuring it on a scale of for the length of their marriage or their relationship, she has made more money than him? Or could it be that when they first started, or maybe even in the middle of their relationship, the woman was making more, and then eventually he came up and did what he was supposed to do? Because you look at the Asians and other cultures that came to America or that come to America to work. I noticed with the Oriental Asians when they came to the United States, you know, when they were opening up stores and restaurants and whatever, I don't know if they subscribe to the whole man having to make more money than the woman in the marriage, because many of them work together. You know, they would open up stores and businesses that way. And the man, you know, the husband and the wife would work in the store. So they had to equally burn the midnight oil or bust their ass in order to build the business that they were in. And they would also bring their, you know, bring their family members from wherever they, whatever country that they lived in, to come and help out as well. So you could see how the generational wealth spread throughout their family, and they were able to keep the wealth within family bounds. So I don't know if that was based on the man having to make more money than the woman. She was right there making the money with him. Even at times when they had to, when the babies were born, when she might have been pregnant, she worked in the stores until it was time for her to have the children. And then when she had the children, even the children worked in the stores. So I don't know if that, I don't know if they were living the American framework, but it seemed to work out pretty well for them. David says, imbalance in income. A man loses respect when the woman makes more. The man in her eyes is a bum. Yeah? I mean, is that definite? So why do you sound like you just came out of a cotton farm? Well, if I came out of a cotton farm, that probably means that I own the farm, which means that I made a whole lot of money. So I'll take that as a compliment. I know you're trying to be a dickhead, but hey, it's not really going to work. I can guarantee you that I talk smarter than you do. I can guarantee you that I talk smarter than you do. And I can guarantee you that I am smarter than you. I can guarantee you that. Just the mere fact that you didn't capitalize why, that already lets me know that I'm ahead of the game. Now you did, I'll give it to you. You did remember to put a question mark at the end of your sentence. But how you going to punctuate your question correctly, but forget to capitalize the first word? See, that would never happen with me. And I mean ever. My mom and my daddy made me go to school and they checked my homework. So I had to have it going on. Can you prove it? Yeah, I just proved it. You said I'm too lazy. So I'm not lazy. So I'm smarter than you and more energetic. Did they punish you for not doing homework? No, I did my homework. I didn't have to get punished. I didn't like to do the homework, but I definitely did it. But my mom was smart too. My dad was smart too. Carla says, folks with the stupidity early in the damn morning. You know what I mean? Look, you know, Carla, you know how it is. Cats, they don't get enough attention at home. You know, like, you know, they don't get love. They don't get hugs. They like, I can go to a live stream and maybe someone will talk to me if I try to insult them first. I understand. I do. I understand. And it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, getting back to David's response. He said, imbalance in income. A man loses respect when the woman makes more. The man in her eyes is a bum. Damn, so just because she doesn't make as much money as him would make him a bum in her eyes? I don't know how consistent that is. I know for a fact that that's not a totally false statement. I'm not going to take it there. I just don't know how true it is consistently across the board, like across all racial lines, cultural lines, even gender lines as far as your gender identity. Like, I don't know, how gay couples, I don't know how they determine who's supposed to make more money. Like if you got two women living together, two men living together, I guess one of them says that they're the man, or one of them says that they're the woman. So, for them, does the one that say that they are the man in the relationship have to make more money? I don't know. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Here's the thing. How much do you have to like or love a person before you enter into a relationship with them? Especially a relationship where money is going to be the issue. Like, does money start to be an issue in your relationship in the dating phase? Or does it wait until you start to cohabitate, co-parent, or get married to each other? And the reason that I asked that question is because if if somebody really loves you, let's say if a woman really loves a man, is her love for him or her like for him leading to love, is that based on his ability to take care of her financially? Because I would think that it would be hard as hell out here for women who make good money. And there are a lot of women out here that make good money, really good money. So how would that work for them? How would that work? So Carla says, not true. She says people go through things, but doesn't mean that they are a bum. True. Oh, you would know if the man you dealing with is a bum, because more than likely during the dating phase, he was already trying to, duck work and, be lazy and, like just settle for any little couple of dollars that came to him. When you're dealing with somebody who's undisciplined as far as income is concerned. Like if your man is already borrowing money from you during the dating phase, that kind of lets you know. Or if he has to borrow from others because he can't really get his financial weight up, or or maybe he has a gambling problem or drug problem or something like that. Something that's keeping him from concentrating on being able to make a decent wage and capitalize on that, like build on that. Now you say money should never be an issue when it comes to love. Interesting. Interesting. So he went from saying that I sound like I come from a cotton farm to actually joining in this conversation in a contributing way. Interesting. Wouldn't be the first time that ever happened, right? Melissa, what's good? Melissa says money has never been an issue because I've never had enough for it to even matter. Okay. Hold on here. Hold on. David says money starts to become an issue when the woman increases the debt when already in debt, house mortgage, for example. Okay, I take care of everything: food, bills, cell phones, mortgage, clothes, etc. But adding, wait a minute, but adding debt, new car, starting nursing program, and etc. becomes a problem. Okay, I hear you. Melissa says, I make good money teaching martial arts, but I will never support I guess you mean never support a man. Okay. He says, why not? I like to troll, so I joined. Making free content for you. You don't have to make content for me. As you can see, you don't have to do that. I know what I'm talking about. If you haven't noticed that I can carry a conversation, ain't nobody been here talking for the past 40 minutes. That's me. I haven't stumbled or fumbled or acted like I couldn't hold a train of thought. I know you've noticed that. Yeah, I can do this for hours. I'm well trained. All right, so Melissa says, let me rephrase that. I make good money teaching martial arts, but a man that I'm with should be able to support himself. True. I agree with that. I don't have no problem with that. My man Jeff Sprayberry is in the house. What's good? What up, Jeff? But yeah, but what we're talking about is we're talking about what some people might call traditional financial values in a relationship or in a marriage. So for men who feel like they have to make more money than their women in a relationship or in a marriage in order for the marriage to exist or in order for the relationship to exist. Like, in other words, we ain't going to be happy in this situation. Yeah, I love you. I mean, you really turn me on and I love being around you and I like talking to you and I just genuinely enjoy being with you. But I can't really enjoy being with you to the fullest unless I make at least $1 more than you do. So if you make $1 million annually, I need to make at least $1 million and 1 in order for this to work. Because if you make more money than me as my woman, then I can't get comfortable. That sounds like insecurity to me. Because that, for me, and y'all can set me straight on this, that sounds to me like you would never even be able to be happy even if you were making more money than your woman, because the threat of her making more at any time would throw you off. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, maybe I'm taking it too far. Maybe I'm doing too much with what I have. And if that's the case, then fine, I'll concede. But that's what it sounds like to me. You know, what makes you happy in a relationship? Is it the person that you're in a relationship with, or is it the situation within the relationship? Is it the makeup of the situation? I mean, I'm thinking that we should probably make sure that we understand where our satisfaction comes from in a situation. So let me see. Melissa says money shouldn't even be a factor in a relationship. If money is what you got, is what you wait a minute. If money is what you guys got. Oh, is what got you guys together. I think is what you're trying to say. In the first place, it ain't a relationship. So you're saying that if money was the determining factor that got y'all together in the first place, then you're not really in a relationship. Interesting take on that. Interesting take on that. I don't know if everybody would agree with that, but I let you know that I don't totally disagree with that. I don't totally agree with it either, but I don't totally disagree. It depends. It depends. And David says, what if the man can't support himself due to an injury or sickness? Would you still be with him? Love depends on income. See, that's the thing. I wasn't necessarily talking about a situation where he can't take care of himself. I'm talking about a situation where he can take care of himself and probably take care of the family too. But he can't get his mind wrapped around the fact that his woman makes more money than him. So he can't be happy that way. So yeah, he could still pay the mortgage. He could still pay the car notes. He could still take care of the babies, maybe even send them to private schools. But he can't get comfortable because his woman can do that too. More than him. And he don't like it. Sharif, he don't like it. Rock the Casbah. Rock the Casbah. Jeff says, I feel like if you don't share the same values, the money won't make a difference. I hear you. I hear you on that. Let me see. Justin says people should want to build each other up, support and encourage one another, regardless of status. I agree with that. And he also says money comes and goes, easily replaceable. The most valuable things in life cannot be bought and sold. Carrie Zilla says, hi, guys. What's the topic? The topic is I got to make more money than my baby. I got to make more than my baby. So we're talking about a situation where traditionally a man might feel like he has to make more money than his woman. But we're not necessarily strictly talking about that because some women might feel, I mean, today's woman, building businesses, being able to be financially astute in her own regard, she might feel like, look, I'm not going to put myself in a position where I need a man in any kind of way. So she might be today's independent woman where she feels like I don't want to be in a position where I ever have to depend on a man because men have too long had the advantage of being the breadwinner, and they have taken unfair advantage of that situation and left women high and dry. When they would, after they chewed them up, spit them out and left them for live or left them for dead. So yeah, what about that situation? What if the woman feels like, no, I need to make more money than my man at all times? It doesn't have anything to do with whether I love him or not, but I need to make more money than him because I don't trust him to be there in the long run, in the long haul. Love without trust. A lot of people think that love without trust can't exist. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. If you don't believe that love can exist without trust, all you have to do is look towards jealousy. Jealousy is all about not only is it about lack of self-esteem, it also has a lot to do with lack of trust. And you may not distrust the person that you're in love with necessarily. You might distrust the whole situation. Hey, man, you can't tell a person how to deal with the trauma that they have been through. Please hit the like button, though. You can't tell me not to want people to hit the like button to help this channel. It is what it is. My man, JJ. Was good. Was good. Okay. Justin said, Justin says he should be happy she makes more instead of being a hater and insecure. What's the big deal? Okay. And David says, I agree with Justin. Was that Justine? I'm my bad, Justine. I'm saying this shit all wrong. My bad, Justine. I agree with Justine. Everything that is being said in comments. Okay, cool. All right, Melissa. Melissa says he needs to stop crying and be happy. And that woman makes more money and is still with him. All right. Okay, okay. Oh, JJ says, she let me, oh, you mean let my girl retire me young. Thank you, honey. Hey, I ain't mad at it either. You know what I mean? It's good work if you can find it. It's good work if you can find it. And Carrie says, I'm just happy we can make our bills. You mean pay the bills? Because it's easy to make bills. That's real easy. All right. Love you too. Tyrell says, I want my women to make more money than me. I mean, it won't be that hard. Melissa says, I know a man that got stuck. I mean, that got with this girl because she had lots of money. Then when she lost her money, he took off on her. So you understand what I was talking about that situation, about a woman might actually feel like she needs to make more money than her man too. So this is not a one-way street. Justine says, I guess their faith in God isn't all that strong. When you marry, when you worry about somebody you're with is going to leave you high and dry at some point. Man, it's hard. I mean, listen, man, the way people deal with trauma is the way they deal with trauma. Melissa says, bottom line is, with it, at the end of the day, you need to take care of yourself and worry about yourself first. And she says, not real love. You can love someone, but not be in love. I could never be in love with someone I didn't trust. I can love someone I don't trust, but not be in love with someone I can't trust. Mm. Well, trust means different things to different people. You know, not everybody judges trust on the same scale. Not everybody weighs trust on the same scale with the same criteria. You out, Carrie. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming through. Thanks for dropping something for us. Thanks for dropping something for us. Yeah, we're talking about I gotta make more than my baby. I gotta make more than my baby. I gotta. Can't be happy in this relationship if I'm not making more than them. As a man, I gotta be a man. And I can't be the man if I'm not making as much money as a man. You gotta pay the cost to be the boss. You gotta pay the cost to be the boss. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that this concept can go. There are a lot of different ways that this concept can go. David says, I need to join these chats more often. Different angles to see situations. Knowledge is power. Power is knowledge. Hey, no argument from me with that. And speaking of knowledge being power and power being knowledge, if I really didn't have or feel like I had a lot to bring into a relationship or a marriage besides my money, I would probably lean on my money more. Like if I didn't think that I could make my woman happy unless I was buying her diamonds and furs and expensive jewelry and new cars and upgrading homes and you know what I mean, showing all the material side of things. If I didn't feel like I could please a woman other than that, yeah, it would probably make more sense that I had to make more money than her. If I was dealing with a woman that was high maintenance, who really and her heart of hearts didn't really give a fuck about me other than what I was making. There are women out here who are like that. I'm not even going to diss them. What up, Clay? My man. My man Jay always get it right. He got it right this time. Says, my guy, my guy Omar in that fresh short sleeve Tommy Hilfiger plaid dress. My man. My man. But yeah, if I didn't feel like I could bring anything into this relationship, like if I didn't feel like I could mentally stimulate my woman, if I didn't feel like I could make her think, if I didn't think I could make her be attracted to me in any other kind of way other than flashing the cash, yeah, it would probably be extra important to me that I made more money than her because I'm not bringing nothing else to the table. I don't know how to please her other than making more money. More money, more money. So she's probably more happy when I'm not around because I'm out making more money. So just come home, bring home the bacon, and everything will be all right. And so many movies and TV shows have kind of enforced that, whether they meant to do it on purpose or not. So that's probably something that we, insecurities normally come from what you don't feel like you can do. They don't come from what you can do. They come from what you can't do, or at least what you perceive to not be able to do. So that's just something we got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? This is something that we got to deal with. Let me see. Melissa says, I was with my man 9 years. We moved into this apartment. We broke up 9 months ago because he cheated. So it ain't had nothing to do with the money, right? Was that the first time he cheated? You're a no nonsense chick. Like nobody cheats on me and gets away with it. I'm gone. No working it out. No counseling. No, baby, we can try again. Try. Hey, your reason is your reason. I can't be inside of your heart and your mind to tell you, what should keep you together or break you apart. Clay says, many couples have to adapt to the fact many women are advancing economically due to education. The mindset has to adapt to the changes. Exactly. But every now and then you might know a woman who comes through with these nightmarish stories of her man making her quit school because he felt like if she went to school, then she was going to be outsmarting him or at least talking above his pay grade or above his intellectual level, and then they wouldn't be able to relate to each other anymore. So maybe it was all right when both of you were high school dropouts or just high school graduates. But your woman go to college and she start learning all this little fly ass college shit. Now she ain't talking the same. She ain't walking the same. She not acting the same. The same interest that she used to have, she ain't interested in that no more. Yeah, there have been women, there have been men who discourage their women from improving themselves. Not only that, but when she go to school, then she gonna be able to get a better job. So he might be in line to stay in the blue collar field. Not that anything is wrong with that, but he sees that she going in the white collar field, wearing expensive blouses and pantsuits and shit, professionally dressed, business casual and shit. And he mad. What you mad about? So like I said, if you're unable to please your woman in other ways, then the financial way might be all you have. So all your eggs are in that basket. All of your eggs are in that financial basket. So if she aligns herself with you, if she is congruent with you, if she is parallel with you, that might not work for you. You in danger. You in danger, homie. Damn. Melissa says, I spoiled that man. Not no more. Wow. But we still live together. What I'm doing? Justine says, well, as long as women don't throw it in their face, though, that's not cool either. JJ says, Melissa, you looking for a roommate? Throw him out. You know what? You gotta chill. Justine says, I can't imagine committing to a man who was intimidated by me, progressing and making more money. There's underlying issues going on. Yes, there are. And the underlying issues is something that we got to deal with. We got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? We got to deal with it. That real says. Checking. I made an effort to start with a capital letter. Oh, look at this shit. He's trying to change the subject. Tell you what, I'm not even going to read that shit. All right. David says, I'm investing in my partner's future, becoming a CRNA. I'm more than happy to do it, even if she will make more money than me. Teamwork. Hopefully, she can see it the same way. The ego, money imbalance don't ruin. Now, now, couples who work in the same profession, I don't think that they have those types of issues about who makes more money and who doesn't, because they're already professional. One of the advantages of meeting people in a profession that you are in is that you understand exactly what the financial pressures of that line of work are. So you could probably relate to each other on that. Y'all have that in common. So that's something that you can build on. Now, I'm not telling everybody there's a difference between falling in love with somebody or getting with somebody in your profession and getting with somebody or falling in love with somebody at your job. Like, you can both be nurses. That don't mean you have to work at the same hospital. You don't want to get HR involved. Listen, I've seen people do it. I've seen it, it can get messy, man. It can get messy. I don't do messy, but some people, some people, that's where they find love. Like, if I can't find it at work, it won't work. If I can't find it at work, it won't work. Please make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button. And check out the poll question too. check out the poll question too. So yeah. Um, yeah, it's not always easy to clock where a person's insecurities come from. I mean, they come from where they come from, and they have to be dealt with in the manner that they get dealt with. They come from where they come from, and they have to be dealt with in the manner that they have to be dealt with, or that they can be dealt with. So whether it's the man being insecure and feeling like he has to make more money than his wife, or the wife that feels like she has to make more than her husband because she don't know if one day he gonna find some cutie at his job, some little young thing, while he's going through a midlife crisis. Like midlife crisis, he only 35. Yeah, no. These youngins ain't waiting till midlife to start going through and doing midlife shit. He going through a midlife crisis at age 35. Motherfucker went out and bought a Corvette. Who ever heard of a 35-year-old with a Corvette? Convertible. What the hell? You got the car of a 60-year-old. What you trying to do? Catch a grandma? Nah, I'm just I'm just saying though. Do you know what I'm saying? Actual facts. But yeah, you never know exactly, how things are going to work out between you and somebody else. You just have to try. You just have to try. But yeah, when a situation is based solely on finances, you're normally not dealing with a situation that's favorable to either party. But that's me saying that from here. You know people, and I know people who are more than comfortable with the arrangement that the man has to make more money. It's just that nowadays it's not politically correct for a man to verbalize that, nah, I gotta make more money than my chick. I don't. Yeah. And the funny thing is, most men are not going to check him on that. They're not going to check him on that because either they feel the same way or they understand where it's coming from. So even though they may not employ the same type of thinking, it's not that they can't relate to it. What works under one household doesn't necessarily have to apply to another household. The way y'all do it doesn't have to be the way that we do it. So it goes the way that it goes. So, when I was thinking about this topic, and I was thinking that a lot of men probably aren't going to step up and actually admit that they have either feelings in this regard or that they have practiced this their whole lives. The Republican Party pushes this narrative consistently. They do. They push this narrative consistently. But this isn't the same world as it was in the 1940s or 1950s or even 1960s. Even the way I saw a statistic. This is going to fuck you up a little bit. This doesn't necessarily go in line with what this topic is. But I saw a video earlier tonight, and they were talking about how teenage pregnancy is at an all-time low And these Republicans were pissed off about it because these 30-something-year-olds were having babies at a higher rate than teenagers. I never thought I would see a day or hear about a day when teenage pregnancy was hyped up instead of frowned upon. Well, welcome to that day. Population control is in effect. I have never heard adults complain that teenagers ain't having babies no more or are not having babies enough. I never heard anything like that before. But it kind of goes into that narrative that if they have the children when they're young, then they can stay home and take care of the children and let whoever fathered the children take care of things, which doesn't make much sense because what if the father of the babies are teenagers as well? What are the chances that a teenage couple is going to stay together for the long haul just because they have children? From my experience, more than likely, if both parties are teenagers when they have children, or if they have children, they're absolutely not going to be together. Justine says, I can understand a man feeling somewhat threatened by making less, but it's what you do with those feelings. And she also says, exactly, if I catch an unhealthy feeling, I'm going to address it and adjust and check myself. And she says, well, not unhealthy feeling, but thought process. And she says, I'm curious if those are full-term pregnancies or just conceptions in general. Well, I guess their concern is that teenagers may be either practicing birth control or getting abortions. No, because abortions, if you got an abortion, that would still mean that you got pregnant. You just didn't deliver. You didn't carry. David says, I would be glad if my wife makes more than me. Just hope that the respect stays. Well, I'm thinking that if your woman respected you up front, then she's probably going to respect you on the back end. That's just what I'm thinking. That's the math that's mathing for me. Okay. Clay says generally, if there's Republican opinions on lack of birth rate, that means on lack of birth rate, that means the wrong people aren't having them. Hey, you ain't never done lied, Clay. You know that means enough white babies ain't being born, and they pissed. But damn, you want teenage white babies? That's what you want? Well, goddamn. I mean, if you cut off abortions, what do you think is going to happen? Only white babies are going to be born? Was that the case before when abortions were? I was like, when they were talking about banning abortions, I was like, Y'all sure y'all ready for that? Because it ain't just going to be them white babies that are being born. You're going to have a brown baby boom. Watch what you ask for. Watch what you ask for. So what am I drinking here? I call this colon ream. The reason that is this color is because I have collard greens in here and beets in here. So it comes up with that kind of green. But I also have tomato, red onion, radish, turnip, cucumber, celery, and what else do I have in here? Oh, herb, herb wise, herbally, I have a lot of garlic in here. An awful lot of garlic in here. And I have echinacea, turmeric, and chlorella. So this is a very, very green drink, even though it may not even though it may not be green in color. Your digestive system will definitely thank you for drinking that drink. It moves the crowd. He says, not only your paper green, but also your drinks nice. I like that. I like that. I like that. We're working on some things. Clay says, I've had older male relatives chastise me for even letting my wife drive drive the family everywhere. So they would berate me if she makes more money. Hey, listen, old heads let you know what they think is important and what's not. But we also have to respect that they were born at a different time. They were dealing with different challenges. They really were. They grew up at a time where they could find a house to live in. Nowadays, it's a seller's market. So you'll get a bunch of money for the houses that you're selling, but it's going to be hard as hell to find a house that you can afford. Just the mortgage is tough. Rent is through the roof. I live in Philly. And this is traditionally an economical city to live in as far as housing is concerned. We don't have a housing shortage here or a problem with making enough money to pay the rent. That's not what we deal with here. But it's getting closer to that now. It is more like that now. There's plenty of places to live. It's not crowded like New York is. However, the prices are going up. So we are more in a situation where we're going to need two incomes. Now, who makes more money or who brings in the highest income? Hey, that's up to your family dynamic. I can't speak on it. You can speak on it better than I can speak on it, but we're not really in a situation where one income is going to sustain the whole family for very long. You might be able to hold it down for a few months, maybe even a year. But after a while, that shit is going to get heavy as hell. David says, even your birds are green. You in Philly fly high eagles. They are very green. Whew, what if I wasn't an Eagles fan? I mean, it's not humanly possible. But what if I wasn't? Yeah. Clay says, it's a brother's health drink when some collard greens be feel like Superman after that. Hey man, listen. Collard greens are very, very good for you. They say kale is better, but I don't like kale, man. Kale is hard as shit. That shit is like chuck steak. It don't be, it don't cook up, it don't cut up as easily, and it don't cook up as well. So yeah, I use the regular collard greens, but I also normally put spinach in it, but I don't have no spinach right now. I don't have no spinach right now. One thing about spinach, you can't let spinach chill in your refrigerator very long. You gotta hurry up and eat spinach. Spinach be like, listen, man, like I decompose kind of fast. If you think you're gonna put spinach in your refrigerator and you're not gonna eat it for like 5 to 7 days, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Collard greens hold up a lot longer. As a matter of fact, let me look up why spinach spoils so fast. Why does spinach spoil faster than other greens? Spinach spoils faster than other greens primarily due to its high moisture content, delicate leaves, and high respiration rate, which make it extremely sensitive to moisture buildup and storage. This excess moisture, often trapped in plastic bags, accelerates bacterial growth, leading to a slimy, spoiled texture faster than harder leafy greens. Oh, okay. All right, excess moisture and sliminess. Spinach is prone to turning slimy when trapped moisture creates a wet environment for bacteria to grow. All right. All I know is if you buy some spinach today, fresh spinach today, you better eat that shit by no later than Friday. It ain't gonna hold up. It ain't gonna hold up like that, sir. It don't be going like that. All right. Kale is the white man's collard. That shit tough, man. That shit tough. Says spinach will liquefy in the bag on you. Yo, for real. For real. You gotta get spinach ate quick. Now, health-wise, spinach is A1. But you can't be lunching. You gotta hurry up. Justine says maybe put paper towels in between the spinach layers. Then layer them with dry paper towel after patting them dry out in a produce bag, but don't seal it. Just fold over or ask Chat GPT to store for longest life. I don't use Chat GPT. I don't know. I gotta limit the AI in my life, man. I do not use Chat GPT. No way. Listen, it's bad enough I Google a lot. I'm not employing a whole AI thing that thinks it knows me and I can't do it. I can't do it. Even though I'm probably doing it without doing it. Clay says Justine just got set up spinach with towels like lasagna. Justine got set up spinach with towels like lasagna. The ChatGPT sent me a whole chart with how to store herbs and greens. Cool. Chloe Michelle says, I don't use it much at all. I'm telling you, I'm good. I'm cool on the Chat GPT. I'm cool. I don't even have an app. I'm like, nah. No. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I ain't see my brother calling on the other line. Hold on. You gonna call it 2:25. I was getting ready to end the show.
Please leave your message for. Please leave your message for.
Here, call back. Like, my dude, I'm getting ready to get on up out of here. He's trying to come up in here. I'll be trying to warn him. I'll be trying to let him know. Let him know. Let him know. Let him know. See, this is what happens when you wait until an hour and a half into a show to call in. Because this shit was going out. You know, about 10 minutes tops. It was gonna be a wrap.
It remind me of when you tried that commercial about the Miracle Whip commercial when you get to the store. He's like, we out of Miracle Whip. We're closed.
Look, man. Yeah, I mean, don't show up at the.
What's going on, good brother, man?
Man, I'm feeling like a real man should. You already know. What's good with you?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain at all, man. I was in this bed sleep. I said, well, he's not on yet. It was at 12:30. I said, I'm gonna sleep for about half hour. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even know I slept that damn long. But, you know, and the one thing about it, I'm gonna tell you, I don't care if she make more money than me. I don't gotta make more money than her. I got to make enough money to make sure I can provide or I can add to the pot. But 9 times out of 10, I'm providing. At the end of the day, I don't care. It's up to me. I mean, if she makes more money than me, I don't give a fuck. It has nothing to do with that. Money does not sustain. Her making more money than me don't make me mad. But when I'm able to make more money than her, I make more money than her. You know, money is not the end all to be all to me in a relationship until when I get to the level of being the main provider. Now, if she staying a stay-at-home person, yes, I'm the man that's taking care of everything. But majority of the time, even when she works, I'm still the man that's taking care of everything.
Okay.
You know? And then she takes care of the rainy day fund. She takes care of making sure the kids got what they need. She takes care of other aspects. But you know, I'm not chauvinistic like that.
Well, I don't know if it has anything to do with being chauvinist. Of course, there could be times where chauvinism may come into the conversation. But if a man can't feel comfortable in a situation with his woman because she makes more money than him, or unless he makes more money than her, there might be deeper things going on in his psyche and in their relationship that makes him feel that way. Like earlier, we was talking about like how if y'all relationship was based on the money from the beginning. Like that's how you gotta bring in the money.
There you go.
Then yeah. that's probably going to be the foundation that keeps y'all together. But is that always true? Is that who knows? Like you might have led off with the money, but that don't mean that your girl or your woman don't like you. You know what I'm saying? That might have just been your way of sealing the deal. So you decided that this is the way it has to be. She might not have necessarily co-signed that.
That's the truth. Some men jump in and think money is the end all and be all, and that's what's going to sustain her. You know what I mean? I agree 1,000% with what you just said. That's why I call you the wizard of wisdom.
Listen, maybe I'm just cheap. Listen, I've been in situations where my woman made more money than me. But at the same time, it wasn't a situation where we was living together though. You know what I mean? And it surely wasn't a situation where we were married. I can't say for a fact that it would be a problem or that it wouldn't be a problem, depending on how she receives me and vice versa. You know what I mean? If she flips the script like, all right, it was cool when I was making more money than you at first, but I thought that you was going to step up to the plate and beat me out. You know what I mean? If she's going to emasculate me because of the money that I don't make, yeah, we got a problem. But I'm not sure. But I don't know if I would find that out exactly when I didn't have the money. Yeah, I mean, motherfuckers talk about they say all the time, like, you know, as soon as the money was gone, you know what I mean, she changed. I'm like, you sure she wasn't changing before the money went out? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't know. That sounds like I can't see the respect that you had, or even the admiration that you had leaving just because you don't make as much, you don't make more than her anymore.
Mm-hmm. But you know, like it's like when in my situation at the time when I had my situation, she might have made more money to me until I got my 6-month review and got my raise, and my rate went up. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't so much as well, she was taking care of everything, because majority of the time everything was still being taken care of me with the funds I was getting. Yeah, she might have to sprinkle a little bit around, but no, you know, I don't think. I mean, some people can and maybe, I'm not going to even lie to you. Maybe so at one point, you know, early in a relationship, we would go back and forth about situations like that. But as you mature, you get older, you start getting a little bit understanding of situations that can happen or how things can go. You know.
Yeah. Well, I figure if your money, I mean, if you're not on the same page with your woman financially, you're probably not on the same page with her in other areas too. And what I mean by being on the same page, I mean like being in agreement. I don't mean necessarily meaning that y'all make the same money. I don't mean that at all. I mean, like, if y'all not on the same page about what the expectations are of one or both of you or either of you, then other things are going to start to creep into the equation also. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like how some people got their ass whooped if they came home and the house wasn't clean, or you forgot to thaw out the meat, or you ain't washed the dishes. Like, it would have otherwise been a good day, but you kind of fucked that up. Now it's going left. Now you're getting scrutinized for all of the shit that you didn't do. So, yeah, but you know, that's a tough situation. But we was also talking about earlier how a woman might feel like she needs to make more money than her man if she had ever been in a situation where she got left high and dry by a man.
Right.
So although we look down on the new independent women, you know, the I don't need no man type of woman or whatever, we also have to be a little sensitive to where that might be coming from. It might not be just her wanting to one up her man, or, you know, be better than him. It might be tied to she let him lead the way financially before, and then, you know, he might have ran off with another chick or whatever, left her and her kids, and so she might be hell bent on making sure that never happens again.
Right.
So she might feel like yeah, I need to make more than any man that I'm dealing with. I don't give a fuck how much he make. I need to make more so he don't ever feel like I'm dependent on him. It's not always just a straight ego thing. It might be a financial security or safety issue for her. You just never know.
Yeah, because I mean, something like that could scar you. It could make you think different. You know.
Hey man,
I mean,
when you are down or when you need help and you can't find somebody who's or should I say, the closest people to you don't want to help you or won't help you. It's going to change the way you do things going forward, or at least it should.
On the whole thing about it, even when you're down, right? Even when you're down, I had told you this before. When you're down, it's not even so much as not being able to turn to somebody. It's the communication part. Because see, some people, I know a lot of people. A lot of people will think that you ask them for something, and you even put down there whatever you can give, and they don't even contact you back. And the only thing you're just trying to do is to ask them is if you can do it, you can do it. But if you don't communicate yes or no, then it just makes you feel like they're ignoring you. And that's when everything kicks into your middle. Like, is this person ignoring me? Of all people? You know what I mean? And that's the only thing I always try to tell people. Like, even with myself, I be telling my kids, I tell my kids that, do not ignore my text messages. If I call your phone, if somebody else call your phone, I know you on your phone all damn day. So when I call your phone, you mean to tell me you don't see my number come up? Or if you sleep and you wake up in the morning, first thing you grab is your phone. You don't see you got a missed call from your father? So I mean, the lack of communication can be overwhelming if you don't just tell a person what you can do, especially if they're in a hardship. It's not an end all to be all. There's don't take away the love. It don't take away the bond, because everybody has responsibilities, and that's what people don't understand. Certain people have to understand that.
Well,
So I mean, I think
there has to be understanding and communication on both sides.
definitely.
Like for example, when my dad was alive, it made him uncomfortable to have to say no.
It does. It does.
What I'm saying is, like, if he didn't have it, it kind of made him feel less than.
I feel the same way.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't that. So okay, what I'm trying to say is this: you never know why a person might not be it might not be getting back to you about something that you've asked for. It could be because they don't have it. It could be that
they might have been busy and forgot to communicate it back to you.
It could have been. It could be that they don't. It could be because they don't want to give it. It could be because you've tapped the well too often. It could be a lot of things. Like, one thing about, all right, for me, I don't like to have to ask anybody for anything. But one thing I really, really, really don't like is having to go back again and again and again. So my thing is, if I ask you for something once and you give it to me, then you're putting the ball in my hand. Like, all right, you gave me what I asked for, what I needed. Now it's up to me to make sure that I do enough with this so I don't have to keep going back to you. It'd be like, okay, let's say if I needed you to help me with my resume, right? So in my mind, I should do some of the work first. Like maybe Google whatever, how to write what things should, what the structure of a resume is, how to get it up on a computer or whatever. And then you can help me polish it off. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I don't do any of the work, now I got to come back to you time and time again to keep doing what I asked you to do. So whether it's making a resume or even printer ink. You know what I mean? When motherfuckers got a printer, people think that they can just you can just print off 100 pages for them. They don't realize that ink costs a lot. This ain't at your job where they got them big ass toner cartridges. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm coming back to you time and time again, like, yo, can you print my shit out again? In my mind, even if you do it time and time again, I'm tapping your well too much. At a point, you're gonna be like, what? Nigga, no. You gotta do something for yourself. I done helped you fit 49 times. The 50th is on you. Now it could be 49, it could be 39, 29, 19. At some point, if I've given you time and time again, or should I say, if somebody has given me time and time again, now I'm just leaning on them. I can't do that. So I want the next time that I come to you to be fresh. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I need it to be fresh. Like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? I don't mind doing this for you. Oh, because, you know what I'm saying? I know you only come through when you need it. You know what I mean? So I don't have no problem with it.
It's not your norm.
Yeah. If I done seen you, 3 times this week, like, nigga, what the fuck? I mean, what am I, your dad? So you never know why a person might not be responding. You can't always let your emotions, your personal feelings, or even your personal situation get in the way, because our feelings lie to us. They do. The way we feel is sometimes what they say, your perception is your reality. No, it's not. Your perception is your perception.
True.
That shit ain't always real. Most of the time it ain't real. You know what I mean? It's just like if something is painful for you, you don't know how painful it is to somebody else. My nerves ain't your nerves. So anyway, so one thing that men have to respect about a woman is that she's always checking you out to see what your patterns are. Sometimes we get caught up in what we doing that we don't notice what they noticing. But they know. So if you on some deadbeat shit, if you on some old irresponsible shit, she's going to notice. One woman might respond to it differently than the next man will or whatever. But she's checking you out because she's constantly auditing your character.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you making more money might come into, or needing to make more money might come into play, because that might be the only information you giving out. You're not bringing anything else to the table. You know what I mean? Not everybody expresses love and understanding and even just a knowledge base. Shit, I mean, I can't speak for every man. But one thing is for sure, I've never impressed a woman with the money I make. And that's on purpose. We're not doing that. Sure, I'm always going to help out. I'm always going to jump in. But that's not the foundation that we on. So whether I make more money than you or not, we're not doing that. We're not going to, this ain't no pimps and hoes type of situation. Because normally when a man feels like he has to make more money, he feels like that's where his power is. So if he can't find his power in any other place other than his money, of course he's going to lean on his money all the time. But he should be finding out where else he can get power from. Because this is a sad state of affairs when all of your power has to come from money, because that means an external force really has the power over your relationship.
That's true.
So, yeah, I mean, it's tough. But listen, if it's been, some people make more money by mistake than a lot of people do on purpose. So it may never become an issue for you because, you be stacking that bacon. So you ain't worried about falling on hard times. Mm-hmm. Don't mean that hard times won't come emotionally. They just might not come financially. Look at this. Justine in the chat, she said, I've lived with men and never inquired how much money they made, and they never asked me. We just got it done. Probably not the norm, but financial discussions were not centered around what we made. Well, if y'all live together, then you know how much the rent or the mortgage was. So I would think that I don't know. I would have to know something. You know what I'm saying? Because, we would have to know. I know for me, I would have to know what the expectation is going to be. Clay says that there has to,
and that's where the communication comes in at. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got to be able to talk to one another and have an understanding of whatever. And I like what you said is you don't lead with your pocket in a relationship. And I had to learn that the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like I said, I wish I had the men around me that would the older men that I had around me, like my grandfathers and some of my uncles, they were, they didn't pass away before I got to the point of getting into relationships. You know what I mean? So I only see my grandfather come from work, and my grandmother's at home, and my grandmother's the homebodies, and they come home, they give the money to her, or they pay the bills, and she ain't got to do nothing, and everything is just my grandfather doing this. So I only seen everything through that eye.
Right. Well,
so I didn't have. Mm-hmm. What you say?
No. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
So I didn't have another eye. If I'm looking at my left eye to see that, my right eye didn't see anything else. So my right eye started focusing on my left eye on what they was doing. Oh, so I need to make sure I give, and I need to make sure I give gifts, or I got to make sure I do this, and maybe this might make her happy and make me. And now, as you get older, you following them same trends, not realizing there's a different trend that you have to follow and not lead with that now. Because some people will take advantage with that part of leading.
Oh yeah, they will. Well, let me say they might, because not everybody takes unfair advantage of that. The thing is, we have to understand that our parents and our grandparents grew up at another time. You know what I mean?
That's true.
They made it. They grew up at a time when they could easily find housing. It wasn't hard for them. One thing I always say about growing up in Philly is that it's a blue collar town. We don't have New York problems. We don't have problems finding a place to stay. You know what I mean? No high ass rent. 8 million people. You know what I mean? Making it hard for you to even find a place and making landlords be more predatory. We didn't grow up with that. Yeah. We can find somewhere to live. Whether you lived in a nice place or deep in the hood or whatever, that was on you. But you ain't have to be homeless, that's for sure. You ain't have to struggle with that. One thing about tricking is that tricking ain't no first generation tricks. If you a trick, then your daddy was a trick, your grandfather was a trick, your great grand. I mean, it really they pass it down. And honestly,
a lot of tricks.
it ain't no first generation trick. And you ain't going to start the tricking tradition off. You know what I mean? If you a trick, you came from tricking. And look, the old heads that was the way they did it. So of course that's what they taught. But they didn't have to adjust to these times. We do. So whereas your grandmother didn't have to work, today's grandmother do. It is what it is. She might not have to make more than her man, but you know the likelihood that she's going to have to contribute is high. And earlier in the show, I was asking about. Remember the Chinese stores back in the day? I don't know if it was set up in their mind that the man had to make more than the woman because the woman worked in the store with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that they was working with those same American type of values where the man had to make all the money and the woman just stayed home having the babies. Shit, she would get, you know what I mean? Miss Lee, Miss Chung, Miss Young, she get pregnant if she was young enough. You know what I mean? She had a baby. She be taking care of that baby and you know selling you Snicker bars and sodas at the same. You know what I'm saying? Like they wasn't set. So they wasn't set up the way we was set up. So there are other ways where this can get done. OG telling myself a car don't cost that much. Hold up, did I miss something? Oh, Clay said my parents bought a house for what I pay for a used car now. No, that's true. That's true. That's motherfucking true. Yeah, when I look at what my mom paid for the house we grew up in, big ass 3-story crib, and I don't think they paid $10,000 for the crib.
Yeah, back in the day, you know, me and you was talking the other day. I was telling you, you know, when I inherited the house from my grandmother and my grandfather, you know, my grandmother had left the house to her niece until I got older because I was only 18 when my grandmother passed away. So my mom had bought my cousin out for $9,000, but the house was only appraised for $18,000, and that's right near Broad Street, a block and a half away from Broad Street.
Man, you couldn't even, you couldn't get a fucking stairwell for that now.
Not shit. Shit.
I'm talking about the front steps.
No.
I'm not even bullshitting. That shit gonna cost you 25 stacks for the stairwell, the steps going up to the house. You ain't getting in South Philly today.
Yeah, South.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I can't live in South Philly today.
When you talk about gentrification, that's on a whole nother level right now, bro.
I couldn't move to South Philly today. Only people who can move to South Philly is the people who's already in South Philly. You ain't going to South Philly now. Only way you move into South Philly now is if you come from outside of the city and you don't know that it's way more expensive than we ever dreamed of before. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Shit crazy. $400,000 for a goddamn row home. 3 bedrooms? What? 400 stacks?
$250,000 for a 1-bedroom. I've seen that between 21st and 20th and Christian in South Philly.
Shit crazy. Shit is
I think if
crazy out here.
yeah,
And,
you know,
QG says, is it better to rent? No, I don't think so, because renting don't give you power. You know what I mean? When smoke shops wanna open up in your neighborhood, or liquor stores, or you know what I mean, weed dispensaries and all of that shit, when they want to get zoning to move to sell in your neighborhood, if you a renter, they not asking you. You don't matter. They gotta go to the homeowners. That's who decides who who can set up shop and who can't. If the homeowners say they don't want it, then you ain't getting that zoning. Find another neighborhood where they don't own shit, and that's why they be trying to buy up all the houses in the hood now, because they know you going to like, I'm gonna take this 100,000 or this 200,000 as is. Yeah, give me that, because now you won't have any power. So they can do whatever they want to. Plus, when you own a home, you're never broke. You can always borrow against your house. You sure as hell can't borrow against your landlord. You owe him every month. So when people be saying shit like, whether you own or whether you rent, you never really own nothing because you still got to pay your property taxes and all that. That don't mean you don't own shit just because you got to pay maintenance. Like, you got to fix your mentality. Ownership is power. It is. Like, when you own your car outright, right, you can borrow against your car. Title loan. You can't do that shit when you renting a car. What you got? Nigga, you owe the, you know what I'm saying? Or you leasing a vehicle, you can't do it. Can't be done. But look, let's do this. Let's do the poll question. And then we gonna do these birthday shout outs and get on up out of here. Which is a more difficult situation? Big imbalance in income or different political ideologies? All right, 30 out of 27 people, 27 votes, 33% said income imbalance is the biggest difficult situation. 22% said different political parties. Interesting. And 26% said neither. Love and energy rules. And 19% said religious differences are worse than financial imbalance or political parties. Wow. All right. All right. All right. Well, listen, my brother, even though you called in, your time was strong, and I appreciate you. So we gonna do.
Hello?
Yeah.
What was you saying?
I said, even though you called in late, your time was strong, and I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, and I appreciate that too. I might not be there when you call, but I'm always on time, bro.
Wow, you should make a song out of that.
Ja Rule and the Kanye song.
I was about to say, you should make a song out of that. That sounds like that would be some good lyrics.
Look, and all I never, I'm not trying. I know you gotta go, but I'm gonna put a picture out that with my face on it, like I'm God, and then I'm gonna turn back around and saying I was acting like I was part of the Red Cross. I just thought I'd put that out there for you.
Yeah, you're gonna play like you was playing a doctor. Cool.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Doctor.
All right, man. I'll holler at you later.
We can't make this shit up, bro. But I love you, bro.
All right, man. Peace. All right, yo. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious April April 13th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Wendy Lyles. And also Khalid X. Henry, April Brown Johnson, Kendra Edwards, Gregory McIntyre, no relation, but what up, cuz? And also, last but not least, my man Antonio Goodman. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious glorious. April 13th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally, all of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. Go hard, go for yours. And yo, she made more money than me, but she made sure that our crib was the place to be and not see another path to be happy. And I made sure that we had our kids. I was a hell of a pappy. But sometimes I felt a little low when I felt that my funds was not in the flow. And so I had to get myself together, and I was raised to be better. So I ate it up like a sweater in the month of July. And you ask why? Because I made sure that my family was always fly, and it's always going to be all right. You ain't going to be wanting for nothing. You ain't going to be out here borrowing and fronting. And that's the way I live my life. So that's whether you my girl, my side John, or my wife. And it's going to be good. And I understood, and I must keep understanding and keep demanding that I get a little bit better with each day. And as long as I have that thing in back pocket to say that I stay on top, I stay my pop, make sure that I praise the ancestors, because they are the ones that made sure that I got the best of the things in my life. My wife is all that, and she gonna be even better than tomorrow. So I ain't borrow, and it won't be no sorrow. Where I don't have it, you fill in, I fill in on the back end. And I'm going to be back in the good graces. Everything is going to be all right. Good to see your faces. I hope y'all come through each and every night. And if y'all come through, I'm going to make sure that the conversation is right. And we keep the game tight. Yo, I get with y'all tomorrow on the 14th, all right? Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night. 1 a.m. in the 1 a.m. in the, you know how we do. I appreciate me some you. Make sure you hit the like button. Do it quick, fast, all of a sudden. Subscribe to the show and y'all gonna see me every night, because I'm on every motherfucking day, yo. Peace, y'all. Holla back, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I hope you enjoy listening to the show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it. Peace.